In my past life, I gave up the guaranteed admission for her, applied to the same university, lived in the same city, and squeezed onto the same subway. In the end, she got into someone else's car wearing a wedding dress, while I drank myself into the ICU in a rented apartment. Reborn. I glanced at her college application form. Peking University, Finance Department. That night, I changed my own application to Shenzhen, 3,000 kilometers away. This life. The main theme is never meeting, no matter how far apart we are. I was slapped awake. Shinsi. Get up right now. My mother's voice was like a dull knife, slowly sawing through my eardrums. I suddenly opened my eyes and saw the crack on the ceiling, the same crack I had stared at throughout my senior year of high school. My heart felt as if it were being gripped by someone's hand. I sat up, my hands trembling. On the table lay a form, with bold red letters printed across it. College Entrance Exam Voluntary Application Form. Date: June 28, 2014. I stared at that date for a full 10 seconds. Then I flipped out of bed, rushed to the bathroom, and glanced at myself in the mirror. 80-year-old face. No dark circles. No nasolabial folds. No scar left from bumping into a table corner while drunk. I'm back. Mom. I walked out of the bathroom, my voice a bit hoarse. Which university did Lin Yanchu apply to? My mom was in the kitchen cooking noodles, not even turning her head. She applied to Peking University's finance department. With her grades, it's a sure thing. What about you? Your scores are enough for Peking University too. Hurry up and fill it in. It'd be great if you could attend the same university as Nianchu. Hearing this, my stomach churned. In my past life, I had listened to those very words. I applied to the same university, the same city, and the same subway line as her. Then, over the next 10 years, I watched her go from being my classmate to someone else's wife. Lu Jingqian. That name is like a thorn, stuck in my mind. Second-generation rich kid, overseas returnee. 3 Sihyuan courtyards at home. What can I possibly compare myself to? My monthly salary of 6,000 yuan as a copywriter. The last time I saw Lin Yanchu was at her wedding. She was wearing a white wedding dress, smiling beautifully. I sat in the last row, drank an entire bottle of baijiu, and no one noticed when I left. What happened afterward? I don't want to think about it. Mom. I picked up the application form. I've changed my mind. I'm applying to Shenzhen University. The noise in the kitchen stopped. My mother turned around, still gripping the spatula in her hand, her expression as if I had just said, I'm going to become a monk. What did you say? Shenzhen University, Computer Science Department. Are you crazy? The spatula slammed onto the stove. With your scores, you could get into Peking University, Shenzhen University. Did your brain get squeezed by a door? Mom, I've thought it through. Thought through my foot. My mom rushed over and snatched the form from my hand. Did you have a fight with Nianchu? It's normal for young couples to have disagreements. Let me call and talk to him. We didn't fight. I took the form back from her, picked up a pen, and carefully wrote, Shenzhen University, Computer Science and Technology. My mother stood beside me, her lips trembling for a long time before she finally managed to blurt out, just you wait. I'll call your father back to deal with you. I ignored her. After filling out the form, I took a photo and saved it on my phone. Then I opened my contacts and found the name at the top, Lin Yanchu. The profile picture is a photo of her side face, and the note is a heart symbol. I stared at it for 3 seconds. Delete the contact. Confirm. The moment I pressed down with my finger, I let out a long breath. In this life, you go north, and I go south. 3,000 kilometers far enough. When my father came back that evening, sure enough, he and my mother interrogated me together for a full hour. I have only one sentence. I want to study computer science. To study computer science, go to Peking University. Peking University also has a computer science department. I checked. Shenzhen University's computer science department has a higher employment rate. That's made up. But my parents don't understand. They only know that Peking University has a bigger name than Shenzhen University. Finally, my dad threw down his chopsticks. Suit yourself. Just don't regret it later. I smiled slightly. Regret. That kind of life in my previous life, that was regret. That night, I was lying in bed when my phone buzzed. A text message from an unsaved number, but I recognized it. It was Lin Yanchu's number. Shinsi. I heard you didn't apply to Peking University. What's going on? Call me. I stared at it for 3 seconds, turned the phone over, tucked it under the pillow, closed my eyes. Sleep. The first day of this lifetime. Perfectly concluded. The news broke the next day. Our homeroom teacher called me personally, his tone as if I had committed some heinous crime. Shinsi. Are you sure you won't change? With your score, applying to Shenzhen University is a waste. I'm sure. Think it over. I've made up my mind. Thank you, teacher. I hung up. Then came the call from my childhood friend Zhao Meng. What the hell? Shinsi. Are you out of your mind? Zhao Meng yelled on the other end of the line. You applied to Shenzhen University. You scored 60 points higher than me and you applied to Shenzhen University. Shenzhen is nice. Close to the sea. What the hell? You're not a dolphin. Hung up. Wait. Zhao Meng lowered his voice. Is it because of Lin Yanchu? Did you two break up? No. Then why don't you apply to the same school as her? Aren't you? Zhao Meng. I interrupted him. I just want to go to Shenzhen. No other reason. There was 5 seconds of silence on the other end of the line. Fuck. Are you turning gay? I hung up the phone. Over the next 3 days, my phone barely stopped ringing. Classmates? Relatives? The aunt next door, everyone was asking the same question. Why aren't you going to Peking University? My unified reply. I want to go to Shenzhen. No one believes me. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. But I know. For the first time in my life, I am clear-headed. On the 4th day, Lin Yanchi came. She stood downstairs at my building, wearing a white dress, her hair tied in a ponytail, and carrying a bag of fruit in her hand. My mom opened the door. Incredibly warm. Yanchu's here. Come in. I stood at the door of the bedroom, listening to her talking with my mom in the living room. Auntie, is Shinsi here? I want to talk to him. Yes, Shinsi. Come out. I take a deep breath, push open the bedroom door and walk out. She saw me and smiled. That smile was all too familiar. In my past life, I was obsessed with that smile for 10 years. Shinsi, long time no see. I heard you applied to Shenzhen University. Yeah, why? Your grades are so good. I want to study computer science. She tilted her head, a hint of confusion in her eyes. Peking University also has a computer science department. I looked at her, scenes from my past life flashing through my mind, her holding Lu Jingchen's hand, smiling brilliantly at the wedding. I just want to go to Shenzhen, I said. Far from home, more freedom. But, Nianchu, I interrupted her. Put down the fruit. I have some things to take care of. She was stunned. I saw the shock in her eyes. Probably no one had ever spoken to her like that in her entire life. Especially me. In his past life, Shinsi was like a dog in front of her. Whatever she said, he obeyed. Then I'll be going. She stood up, her tone carrying a hint of uncertainty. Take care. I didn't see her out. My mother glared at me for a full 3 minutes after she left. What attitude is that? That girl came all the way to see you. Mom, she and I are just ordinary classmates. Ordinary classmates. In your 3 years of high school. Every day. That was before. I went back to the bedroom and closed the door, leaning against the door. My heart was beating a little fast. Not because I was moved. It was a survival after a disaster. In September, I dragged my suitcase to Shenzhen. The southern heat wave hit my face, like someone was holding a hairdryer to it. Shenzhen University's campus was bigger than I imagined, with palm trees and people in shorts everywhere. I finished the enrollment procedures and carried my suitcase up to the 4th floor. The dormitory door was open, and there were already 2 people inside. A thin, dark-skinned short guy was laying out a bamboo mat on his bed. When he saw me, he grinned and said, "Hey, new roommate. I'm Fan Yuan, from Guangzhou." Another one with glasses didn't look up, just muttered, "Zhou Yu, Hangzhou, Shinsi, from the north." Fan Yuan's eyes lit up. "Where in the north?" "Hebei." "Awesome. Then you must have gotten a really high score, right? Did you not fill out your application well to end up at Shenzhen University?" I shoved the box under the bed and said, "Voluntary." Fan Yuan clearly didn't believe it. But he didn't ask further. I tidied up my bunk, took out my phone, and glanced at it. 3 unread messages, all sent by Lin Yanchu. First, Shinsi, have you reached school? Second, why did you delete me from WeChat? I've added you again. Third, are you angry with me? I tapped on her friend request and stared at it for 2 seconds. Rejected. Then I opened my contacts and added her phone number to the blacklist. Fan Yuan leaned in. Who's that? A girlfriend? No. Ex-girlfriend? No. Then why did you block them? I put my phone back into my pocket. I don't want to stay in touch anymore. Fan Yuan whistled. Tough guy. He didn't know how not tough I really was. In my previous life, Shinsi had never spoken a harsh word in front of Lin Yanchu. She said she wanted to eat Peking roast duck, so I cycled from Haidian to Qianmen. She said it was raining and she didn't want to walk, so I took a taxi across half of Beijing to pick her up. She said Lu Jingchen was just a friend, and I believed it. I believed it until she put on a wedding dress. Now that I think about it, it wasn't her that was disgusting. It was me. In the first month of university, I set 3 rules for myself. First, study professional courses well. In my previous life, I studied Chinese literature and after graduation became a copywriter with a monthly salary of 6,000. Writing nonsense like enjoy quality life for 5 years. In this life, computer science, write code, make a living by skills. Second, exercise. In my previous life, I was as thin as a bamboo pole, and drinking gave me fatty liver. At 30, my body was like that of a 50-year-old. In this life, I need to build a solid foundation for my health. Third, stay as far away from Lin Yanchu as possible. The first 2 rules were executed smoothly. I learned computer science very quickly, not because of talent, but because living a second life changes even your mindset toward learning. The mind of an 18-year-old combined with the self-discipline of a 30-year-old yields maximum results. In the first monthly exam, I got first place in the major courses. Professor Liu, who teaches data structures, called my name in class. Classmate Shenxi's solution to this dynamic programming problem is very clever. Everyone can refer to it. Fan Yuan poked me in the back and said, "Show off. I'm also making progress with fitness. Every night I run 5 kilometers around the campus, and every other day I go to the equipment room to lift weights. After a month, the lines on my arms have already started to appear. Article 3 also implemented very well, until mid-October. That day I had just come out of the library when my phone rang. It wasn't Lin Nianchu, it was my mom, Shenxi. Nianchu's mother came to the house today." I paused in my steps. "She said Nianchu isn't adapting well in Beijing and wants to talk to you. Did you block her?" "Her mom said Nianchu can't find you and has been crying anxiously." "Mom, there's nothing for me to talk about with her. What's wrong with you? That girl grew up with you since childhood, and you just cut off contact like that. I just don't want to keep in touch. Listen to your mother. Nianchu is such a good kid, she's good looking and does well in school. If you two could." "Mom, I'm hanging up. I have class." "Shenxi, you." I hung up the phone. Standing at the entrance of the library, the autumn evening breeze blew over, carrying the sweet scent of osmanthus. In my previous life, my mom also said the same thing. Nianchu is so nice. It's really nice. So nice that I'm still her backup at 30 years old. So nice that on her wedding day, my mom was still speaking up for her. She never promised you anything. You're the one who was foolish. Who can you blame? I squeezed my phone, my knuckles turning white. Not in this life. In November, Shenzhen still wears short sleeves. I participated in the school's programming competition and won first prize. The prize money was 3,000 yuan, plus the school's scholarship. So I have a bit of money on hand. I made a decision to take on freelance work. My first year programming level couldn't handle large projects, but it was enough to create small apps or tweak websites for small and medium-sized enterprises. I registered accounts on several freelance platforms. Using a campus scenery photo as my avatar and writing in my bio, computer science student at Shenzhen University, specializing in front-end development. The first assignment came sooner than expected. A bubble tea shop owner wanted an online ordering mini program. With a budget of 2,000 yuan, I spent 3 days finishing it, and my boss was very satisfied. He even introduced 2 friends to me. Over the course of a month, I took on 5 orders in my spare time and earned 12,000. When Fan Yuan found out, his eyes nearly popped out. Making over 10,000 a month as a freshman. Are you here to study or to work? Doesn't delay anything. You, of all people. Fan Yuan pointed at me. Are a freak. I smiled a little and said nothing. In my past life, I was the real fool. At that time, all my spare time was spent on Lin Nianchu. I accompanied her to study, went shopping with her, and had meals with her. Whenever she called, I would drop everything and run out. And what was the result? My major courses were a mess, and by the time I graduated, there was nothing impressive on my resume. As for her, she secured a postgraduate recommendation, and after finishing her master's degree, she landed a job at a top investment bank. As for me, I submitted over 100 resumes and ended up in a small advertising agency. The gap started from that moment. By the time Lu Jingqing appeared, I could no longer catch up with her. It wasn't that she had changed. It was that she kept moving upward while I remained stagnant. In this life, I will no longer tie my life to anyone. In early December, something interrupted my rhythm. That day, I was modifying code in the dormitory when Fan Yuan pushed the door open, his expression as weird as if his 3-day constipation had suddenly cleared. Shenxi, someone is looking for you downstairs. Who? A girl. He emphasized the word girl very heavily, paired with his lecherous smile. My heart skipped a beat. What kind? Ponytail. White down jacket. Pretty good looking. Fan Yuan gave a thumbs up. Bro, you're something. Even in Shenzhen. A northern girl came after you. I tightened my grip on the mouse in my hand. I walked to the balcony and looked down into the streetlight below the dormitory building. Someone was standing. A white down jacket, a ponytail, and a suitcase in hand. Lin Nianchu. She looked up. The streetlight casting on her face. Her nose red from the cold. The passing boys were all stealing glances at her. I stepped back, leaving the balcony. Aren't you going down? Fan Yuan leaned in. Not going down. Why? She came all this way. I don't know you. Fan Yuan looked at me with an expression that said, You're not human. I sat back in front of the computer and continued writing my code. Fingers tap on the keyboard. Twice as fast as usual. The phone buzzes on the table. An unfamiliar number. Beijing area code. She changed her number. I stared at the code on the screen, but couldn't take in a single line. The phone rang 9 times. Then it stopped. 3 seconds later, it rang again. Fan Yuan couldn't stand it anymore from the side. What exactly is your relationship with them? They flew all the way here and you won't meet them, I said. I don't know them. Then why is your heart beating so fast? I can hear it. Something's wrong with your ears. When the phone rang for the third time, I reached over and hit mute, turned the phone over and put it face down on the table. 15 minutes later, Fan Yuan went to the balcony to take another look. She's gone. His voice was a bit low. She stood downstairs for almost half an hour. Her hands turned red from the cold. My fingers stopped on the keyboard, not moving at all. 3 seconds later, I typed the next line of code. Winter in Shenzhen is not cold. But that night, I covered myself with 2 quilts, and still felt a chill seeping through my bones. Lin Yanchu didn't leave. The next day, Fan Yuan hinted to me that she was staying at a hotel near the school. How did you know? Fan Yuan cleared his throat. When she was waiting for you downstairs. She said a few words to me and added my WeChat. I look at him. He raises both hands. She asked me? She said she couldn't find you and asked if I could pass along the message. How could I say no? Am I that kind of person? You are that kind of person. Fuck. Saying that is no fun. Fan Yuan lies down on his own bed. But seriously, bro. A girl flew all the way from Beijing to find you. You should at least meet her. Fan Yuan. Huh. Can you pass a message for me? Fan Yuan sat up, his expression turning serious. Tell her to wait anymore. Go back. Fan Yuan opened his mouth but couldn't say a word. After a long while, he finally muttered, You're really ruthless. I didn't reply to him. Put on headphones and continue writing code. Fan Yuan delivered the message. That afternoon, he came back with a very grim expression. She cried. Fan Yuan slapped his phone on the table. She cried right in front of me. She asked why you refused to see her. What she did wrong. Whether you could tell her. My hand paused. Did you say something? Say what? I don't know anything. Fan Yuan scratched his head in irritation. Shensi, can you give me the bottom line? You're not some kind of player. Are you? The type who seduces and abandons? No. Why are you? Because I don't want to live for her anymore in this lifetime. These words slipped out. And even I was taken aback for a moment. Fan Yuan was stunned too. The dormitory was quiet for a long time. What do you mean by this life? Fan Yuan asked cautiously. Literally. I put my earphones back on. That night, I received a text message. An unfamiliar number. But as soon as I saw the content, I knew who it was. Shinsi. I don't know what I did wrong. You changed from the day of graduation. Unfriended me. Blocked my phone number. And even when I came to find you, you wouldn't see me. We grew up together. Even if we can't be boyfriend and girlfriend, it shouldn't come to the point where we can't even be friends. Right. Can you tell me the reason? Say it. I can accept whatever reason it is. Please. After reading this message, my thumb hovered over the screen for a long time. In his previous life, Shinsi would have rushed downstairs in about a second upon seeing this message. But I am no longer the Shinsi of that previous life. I know the rest of the script. If I go soft now, see her, and make up with her, then came having meals together on weekends. Going home together during winter break. And then she introduced me to her college classmates. And then I met Lu Jingqin. Then she said to me, Jingqin is a really nice person. You two will definitely become good friends. And then I watched helplessly as she fell in love with someone else. And then I drank alone in my rented apartment. Drinking for 7 years straight. No. I deleted that text message. I got a new phone number. The next day, Fan Yuan said she checked out of the hotel and went to the airport. Her eyes were swollen like walnuts when she left. Fan Yuan said, glancing at me, trying to find a trace of wavering in my expression. I was eating a chicken leg rice from the cafeteria and took a bite of the chicken leg. Yeah, I know, Fan Yuan. You're really heartless. It's not that I'm heartless. It's that in my past life, when I offered my heart to her, she didn't even spare me a glance. In this life, I'll keep this heart for myself. In the second semester of my freshman year, my life completely got on track. My GPA in major courses has consistently ranked first in the grade, and my income from freelance work has increased from 10,000 yuan per month to 30,000 yuan per month. I started working on my own project, a mini program for a campus second-hand trading platform. This was not a sudden whim. In my previous life, at the end of 2016, a mini program called Xianyu secured angel round financing. And 2 years later it was acquired by a big company, with the founder cashing out 400 million yuan. I remember it clearly, because at that time I was still writing copy for Quality Life at the company. And my monthly salary had just been raised to 7,000. That founder was the same age as me, and also graduated from Shenzhen University. If he could do it, why couldn't I? I told Fan Yuan and Zhou Yu about my idea. Fan Yuan slapped his thigh. All right. I'll take care of operations. Zhou Yu adjusted his glasses and said in a low voice, I'll handle the back end. The three of us started working day and night. I was in charge of the front end and product logic. Zhou Yu wrote the back end and database. And Fan Yuan, from the business school, was responsible for liaising with users on campus. 1 month later, Qian Yutang went online at Shenzhen University. In the first week, there were 87 registered users. In the first month, the number of registered users exceeded 2,000. Fan Yuan jumped around in the dormitory 3 times, nearly collapsing the upper bunk bedboard. 2000. Both freshmen and seniors are using it. Shinsiai, you're a fucking genius. I looked at the data on my phone's back end and curled the corner of my mouth. What was I doing in my previous life at this time? Oh right, I was accompanying Lin Yanchu at Wanda Plaza, carrying her bags. That evening I called home. Mom, I'll transfer 5,000 to you this month. There was silence on the other end of the line. You, where did you get the money? I did a project. Made some money. What project? It's not a pyramid scheme, is it? Don't you? Mom, it's a legitimate project. Programming. Really? I'll transfer it to you every month from now on. My mom suddenly fell silent. After a few seconds, I heard her sniff. Mom. What's wrong? It's okay. Your father, the factory where your dad works hasn't been doing well, and he hasn't gotten last month's wages yet. I thought I wouldn't tell you, worried you'd be concerned. I gripped my phone tightly, my temples throbbing twice. In my past life, I only found out about my dad's factory situation 2 years later, because back then, all my attention was on Lin Yanchu. I helped her study when she was stressed about finals, comforted her when she argued with her roommate, and bought her whatever she wanted to eat. I had no idea what my own parents were going through. Mom, from now on I'll transfer 10,000 each month. 10,000. Don't be ridiculous. It's enough. I can earn that much. My mom finally couldn't hold it in and cried on the phone. After hanging up the phone, I stood on the balcony for a long time. The night sky of Shenzhen has no stars, only the lights of office buildings everywhere. I stared at the tallest building in the distance, with only one thought in my mind. This life. I want to stand on the top floor of that kind of building, not for anyone else. It's for myself, for my parents. Winter break arrived, and I didn't go home. I stayed in Shenzhen with Fan Yuan and Zhou Yu to continue developing version 2.0 of Xianyu Tang. My mother scolded me on the phone for 20 minutes. It's the new year, and you're not coming home. Think you've grown wings, have you? Mom. We're rushing to meet the project deadline. I'll come back after the new year. You. I didn't tell the real reason, because my mom told Melon Yenchu is back on holiday and said she wants to see me during the New Year holiday. She came to my house twice but missed me both times. My mom said, Yenchu has lost a lot of weight. She says she's not very happy alone in Beijing. What exactly happened between you two? I said, Mom, don't bother. On New Year's Eve, Fan Yuan and Zhou Yu went out for the reunion dinner, leaving me alone in the dorm. I cooked a packet of instant noodles and added 2 eggs. My phone rang. A landline number starting with 010. Answer it. Shinsiai. It's Lin Yenchu's voice. The chopsticks in my hand paused midair. You changed your number again. It took me a long time to find your current one. Her voice was very soft, with a slight nasal tone. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Silence. Why don't you come home? Your mother said you stayed in Shenzhen? Busy with the project. You're deliberately avoiding me, aren't you? I didn't say anything. Shinsiai. Can you tell me what exactly are you avoiding? The steam from the instant noodles fogged up my glasses. I took them off, wiped them, and put them back on. Nianchu, I said, I'm not avoiding anything. I just think we don't need to keep in touch anymore. Why? Her voice rose a little. Give me a reason. No reason. Shinsiai. I don't like you. Even I found it ridiculous when I said that. In my past life, I liked her for 10 whole years. Every sleepless night, every drink I downed, was because of her. In this life, I said I don't like you. The other end of the line was silent for a long time, so long that I thought she had hung up. Then she said, Liar. Her voice trembled. The phone hung up. I put down my chopsticks. The instant noodles have already gone mushy. I picked them up and poured them out, then boiled a new pot of water. Outside the window, someone was setting off fireworks, going boom 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 and filling the sky. I stood by the window and watched for a while. This is the first New Year's Eve after rebirth. It's going pretty well, really. At the start of sophomore year, things began to change. Xianyu Tang has expanded to 4 universities in Shenzhen, with registered users exceeding 20,000. An investor contacted us. It wasn't a major institution, but a small angel fund, managed by a man named Zhao Ming, around 35 or 36. Wore a polo shirt and a sports watch. He spoke very quickly. I've seen your product. The model is fine, but the differentiation isn't enough. There are more than just you doing campus transactions now. I interrupted him. Mr. Zhao, our core is not transactions, but the credit system. I flipped the product document to page 7 and pointed it out to him. Each user has a credit score generated based on their transaction behavior. Users with high credit scores can enjoy privileges such as no deposit, priority recommendations, and more. This system can be extended to integrate with campus loans, internship recommendations, background checks for onboarding the entire college student credit ecosystem. Zhao Ming looked at me for 3 seconds. Then he laughed. How old are you? 19. 19 and you come out with something like that. Did you actually think it through? Or are you just trying to fool me? I've been thinking about it for half a year. More than half a year. In my previous life. I watched the founder of that Shinda build it step by step. Every critical juncture. Every pitfall they encountered. I saw it all clear as day in the news. Including why he was eventually acquired instead of going public independently because he built his credit system too late. And the big companies had already seized the position. In this lifetime. I will swallow this piece from the very beginning. Zhao Ming gave $1 million as the angel round. Valuation at $5 million. The day Fan Yuan got the contract. His hands were shaking. $1 million. $1 million. Zhou Yu pushed up his glasses and muttered, "We can switch to a better server." I looked at the figures in the contract. But my mind was on something else. In his previous life. Lu Jingchen's family made their first pot of gold from the credit data business. Interesting. In this life. This track is mine. Things are getting bigger and bigger. I'm getting busier and busier. And I'm also feeling more grounded. Until that day. Fan Yuan came across a message on his Moments feed. "Shenxiai, come here and take a look at this." I walked over and glanced at his phone screen. It was Lin Yanchu's Moments. A group photo. She was standing with a boy in a suit. With the backdrop of an upscale restaurant in the Guangmao area, the young man looked very sharp. His suit well tailored. With a Patek Philippe visible at his cuff. Caption. "Having dinner with new friends. Happy." In the comments, someone asked, "Boyfriend?" And she replied with a shy emoji. Fa Yuan stole a glance at my expression. I stared at that photo for 2 seconds. Suit. Patek Philippe. Guangmao restaurant. Lu Jingchen. 2 years earlier than the previous life. "Do you know this guy?" Fan Yuan asked. "I don't know him." I pushed Fan Yuan's phone back. "Then why did your expression change?" "No change." I returned to my workstation and sat down, hands on the keyboard, fingertips cold. "It's not because I'm sad. It's because I've confirmed one thing. In her past life, Lin Yanchu chose Lu Jingchen, not because I wasn't good enough, and not because Lu Jingchen appeared at just the right time, but because that was her choice, whether I am there or not. She will head in that direction, from beginning to end. I was just a lovesick passerby. I closed my eyes. When I opened them again, I smiled. "Thank you, Lu Jingchen. The sooner you appear, the more thoroughly my heart dies." Junior year. Xian Yutang covers 32 colleges and universities in Guangdong province, with registered users exceeding 500,000. Series of funding of 15 million. Valuation of 80 million. I registered a company named Yuansha Technology. Fan Yuan is the co-founder and COO. Zhou Yu is the CTO. We moved out of the dormitory and rented a 120 square meter office in Nanshan district. The team expanded to 15 people. I started traveling frequently for work. Guangzhou, Shanghai, Hangzhou, Beijing, the city I deliberately avoided. But due to business needs, I ultimately had to go. In November, I went to Beijing to meet a partner. The meeting ended at 8 p.m. And I walked out of the office building in Guangmao, standing by the roadside waiting for a ride. Winter in Beijing is much colder than in Shenzhen. When the wind blows, it feels like knives cutting across my face. I tucked my neck in and had just taken out my phone to call a ride. "Shenxiai." A voice came from behind me. My fingers froze. Even after all this time. I recognized that voice in an instant. I turned around. Lin Yanchu stood 3 meters away. She wore a black coat and a gray scarf. Her hair cut short to the shoulders. She was thinner than in her freshman year, her chin sharper, with faint dark circles under her eyes. "It really is you," she smiled, exhaling a puff of white breath. "I saw you come out of the cafe next door just now and thought I had mistaken you. Long time no see," I said. 3 years. She took 2 steps closer. The streetlight fell on her face, and I saw a hint of redness in the corners of her eyes. "You've lost weight," I said. I regretted it as soon as I said it. Unnecessary words. "You've gotten quite a bit stronger." She looked me up and down. "And better looking." I didn't respond. Silence for a few seconds. "Are you in Beijing on a business trip?" she asked. "Mim. When are you leaving?" "The flight is tomorrow morning." "Well," she paused, her voice softening. "Could I treat you to a meal, just to catch up?" I looked at her. The girl who stood outside my dormitory for half an hour 3 years ago overlapped with the person in front of me. The Shenxiai from the previous life would have definitely said yes. None Shenxiai from the previous life would have been so excited that he wouldn't know where to put his hands. But now I'm standing here. The cold wind of Beijing pouring into my collar. Yet my heart is surprisingly calm beyond reason. "Okay," I said. Lin Yanchu clearly hadn't expected me to agree. She was taken aback for a moment. Then smiled. It was a relieved kind of smile. We went to a small eatery nearby. Steaming hot pot in a copper pot, she ordered a portion of hand-sliced lamb, and I ordered fatty beef. When she dropped the slices of meat into the pot, the curve of her fingers was exactly the same as in high school. "What are you doing now?" she asked. "I started a company, doing internet products." "I heard about that." She paused with her chopsticks. "Is Original Stone Tech yours?" "You know. Someone in the circle mentioned last month that there's a campus credit platform in Guangdong that closed the Series A round. And the founder is a student from Shenzhen University. She looked at me. I guessed it was you at the time. Lucky. Not luck. She shook her head. You've always been impressive, you just didn't want to show it before. Previously, Shin Xiai had put all his energy into you. So he had no time to show anything else. I didn't say that. I picked up a piece of meat and put it into the pot. What about you? I asked. Still at Peking University. I'm in my first year of graduate school, she said. Finance direction. Boyfriend. Chopsticks clinked against the rim of the bowl. She looked up at me. You mean Lu Jingqian? Yeah. How do you know his name? My heart skipped a beat. I saw it on Fang Yuan's Moments, I said without changing expression. You posted a group photo before. And he recognized it. Oh. She lowered her head, fiddling with the dipping sauce in her bowl. We broke up. My movements of picking up meat didn't stop. We broke up 3 months ago, she said, in a very flat tone. He wasn't quite right. I didn't ask why. In the previous life, it wasn't breaking you up in that life. They got together in their senior year, dated for 3 years, and then got married. But now, it started 2 years earlier and also ended earlier, because in this life, there is no backup named Shin Xiai. Always waiting for her to turn back. When there is no turning back, people see things more clearly. It's good that we broke up, I said. She looked up. Shin Xiai. Why didn't you see me back then? I put down my chopsticks and leaned back in my chair. The events of those years, a full decade of a past life condensed into the bottoms of countless late-night bottles and the ceiling of a rented room. I can't tell her the truth. Because I like you. She was stunned. But I know you don't lick. Me. Her lips moved slightly. It's better to cut ties cleanly from the start than to be a dispensable person by your side. I looked into her eyes. This is good for you. And good for me too. The hot pot bubbled and simmered, steam rising between us. Blurring her expression. After a long while, she finally spoke. How did you know I didn't like you? I smiled. Nian Chu. If you like me? You wouldn't have taken 3 years to ask that. Her eyes reddened. But she didn't cry. Probably we've both passed the age of crying at the slightest thing. That meal lasted an hour and a half. In the second half, we didn't bring up feelings anymore and talked about our recent situations. She said the graduate courses at Peking University were very tiring and her advisor was strict. I said the company was expanding and preparing to enter the national market next year. When it came time to pay, she rushed to cover the bill, but I held her hand down. My treat. She looked at my hand, on the back of which were calluses worn from typing on the keyboard. Your hands have become rough from typing code. I withdrew my hand and paid the bill. After getting out, we each stood by the roadside. The night wind in Beijing is dry and cold. She covered half of her face with a scarf. Shin Xiai, she called me. Can I add your WeChat back? I look at her. The Shin Xiai from my previous life would have said yes without hesitation and then fallen into that endless loop once again. But the me from this life is no longer the me from before. Okay. Her eyes lit up. But just friends, I added. That light dimmed, and then she nodded. Friends, I added her. The note read Lin Yanchu. 3 characters. No heart symbol. Before getting in the car, I glanced back at her. She was still standing there, looking down at her phone. Probably checking my moments. My WeChat moments this year. Product screenshots. Funding news. Team dinners. And gym check-ins. Not a single one had anything to do with her. I got into the car and said to the driver, Beijing Capital Airport. As the car pulled away, I watched her figure grow smaller and smaller in the rearview mirror. A momentary sting of tears in the eyes. It quickly subsided. I closed my eyes and leaned back in the seat. There are still 2 meetings to attend tomorrow. A soft heart is a luxury in this life. I can't afford it. Senior year, 3 months before graduation, Yuanshu Technology completed its Series B funding round, led by a top 5 domestic venture capital firm. Series B funding amount, 100 million. Valuation, 1.2 billion. Unicorn. News everywhere. Post-95s college students start businesses and become millionaires upon graduation. The clickbait artists have gone wild. And interview invitations flooded Fang Yuan's inbox. I turned down all media interviews. But some things can't be refused. Like my mom's phone call. Shin Xiai. People online are all talking about your matter. Is it true? 100 million. Mom, that's the company's money. Not mine personally. Then how much do you have personally? Enough to get by. How much? Exactly? Mom, I bought a house for you and Dad in Shenzhen. The handover is next month. Come and live there. On the other end of the phone. My mom cried. She cried even harder than last time. Your dad found out. He was so happy he didn't sleep all night. His blood pressure even spiked. Tell him to drink less. I'll take him for a full checkup later. All right, son. You've made something of yourself. I lean back in my office chair. Outside the window is the skyline of Shenzhen's Nanshan district, with the Tencent building in the distance reflecting sunlight. What was I doing at this time in my past life? Oh. Sending out resumes. 137 resumes. 9 replies. I ended up joining a small ad agency with 20 employees, a monthly salary of 500. That evening, I invited Lin Yanchu to dinner to celebrate my new job. She said, "It's fine, just stick with it for now. Everyone has to start from the bottom." Looking back now, that it's fine fucking ironic. Of course, she didn't mean any harm, she just didn't care. When someone doesn't care about you, everything they say is just pleasantries. On graduation day, Fan Yuan drank too much, hugged me and Zhou Yu, and cried, "Guys, we fucking made it." Zhou Yu pushed up his glasses and, for once, cracked a smile. I did it. I patted Fan Yuan on the back. I did it. This life. It was worth it. In the 8th month after graduation, the company moved into a new office building, Nanshan Science and Technology Park, a standalone building, 4 stories. On the day of the move, I stood on the rooftop, the wind blowing in from the sea. My phone rang. Lin Yanchu's WeChat. Over the past half year, our conversation frequency has been very low. She occasionally gives me a like and sends a congratulations. I occasionally reply with a thank you. That's all. But this time, it's not a like. It's a voice message. I opened it. "Shinsi, I have something to tell you." Her voice was a bit tense. "I saw the news. Congratulations." Pause. "Also, I've always wanted to say I'm sorry." Another pause. "I know how good you were to me. You saved seats for me. Got meals for me. Came to pick me up in the rain. I know all that. I just pretended not to. I thought that as long as I didn't make it clear, we could remain friends. Then you suddenly disappeared. And I realized." Her voice broke for a moment. "I just realized how scared I am of losing you. But by then you were already ignoring me." The voice message cut off here. I stood on the rooftop, the sea wind blowing into my clothes. Chilly. Stared at the phone screen for a long time. In my past life the words I waited 10 years for but never came. In this life they came when I no longer needed them. I typed. Then deleted. Deleted it 3 times. Finally sent it over. "It's all in the past. If you come to Shenzhen on a business trip, I'll treat you to dinner." After saying this, I put my phone into my pocket. I turned around and walked downstairs. In the stairwell, Fan Yuan was carrying a box of monitors. When he saw me, he shouted, "Boss, how do I connect the projector in the meeting room on the 4th floor?" Zhou Yu, that quiet guy, taught me 3 times, but I still don't get it. "Don't call me boss. What should I call you?" "President Shin. Call me Shinsi. Shinsi. The projector on the 4th floor." I smiled and ran down to help him. The wind on the rooftop messed up my hair, but I didn't care. Life moves forward. So do I. In the first year after financing, Yuanshu Tech had over 30 million users. Our campus credit system caught the attention of 2 banks, and we reached a strategic cooperation. I was interviewed by Southern Metropolis Daily, with the headline post 95's Entrepreneur Shinsi. Credit is the most expensive currency. The day the article was published, my phone blew up. High school class group, college class group, relatives group, all the groups I had long muted were mentioning me. Someone sent a red envelope with the caption, "CIGA is awesome. This is a real big boss." Someone dug up my high school senior year photo and commented, "That skinny guy back then turned into a business elite." Zhao Meng directly called, "Shinsi, what are you playing low-key for? Your net worth is over 100 million. And you won't even treat your brothers to a meal. Another day. Change it to another damn day. You always say another day. This time you have to treat. Fine. If you come to Shenzhen, I'll treat. I'll come. I'll buy the ticket tomorrow." I chuckled and hung up the phone. Among those messages, there was one that was particularly quiet. It was from Lin Yanchu. No exclamation marks. No emojis. Just one sentence. "I saw the report. That line you said is great. Credit is the most expensive currency." I replied with just one word. Then I put down my phone. 2 months later, the company's annual gala, Shenzhen Bay No. 1, banquet hall. Over 30 tables were filled with investors, partners, and team members. I went up to the stage, spoke for 5 minutes, and then came down. Fan Yuan continued speaking on stage for another half an hour, recounting everything from the power outage in our dormitory on the first day of our startup to the server crash last year that kept him awake for 3 days. The audience laughed 7 times, and 3 female employees were moved to tears. Zhou Yu sat in the corner eating cake the whole time. Near the end of the annual party, I stepped out to get some fresh air, standing by the floor-to-ceiling window, looking at the night view of Shenzhen Bay. My phone rang. My mom. "Son, your dad's test results are in everything's normal." That's good. He was really happy today and went drinking with Uncle Zhao and the others. I tried to stop him. "Just let him have a couple of glasses. Don't let him drink too much." I know. My mom paused. "By the way, mom came by a couple of days ago and said that found a job in Shenzhen." My hand holding the wine glass paused. "What job?" "It was said to be a fund company or an investment bank. Something like that. Anyway, it's related to money. It's in Shenzhen's Nanshan district." Nanshan district. My company is in Nanshan district. Her mother said that Nianchu has gone to Shenzhen and asked me to let you know. So you can look after him. Hung up. I stared at the lights outside the window and took a sip of wine. The ice cubes clinked together in the glass. Lin Nianchu came to Shenzhen. In her previous life, she had always been in Beijing. She studied for her master's degree in Beijing, worked in Beijing, got married in Beijing, and lived in Beijing. She had never been to Shenzhen. So, why did she come to Shenzhen in this life? I shook my head and smiled. It doesn't matter anymore. No matter why she came. My life won't change because of it. I won't revolve around her anymore. In this life, I have too many more important things to do. Our company is going for Series C next year. The credit system needs to be integrated into more scenarios. And the team needs to expand to 200 people. I walked back into the banquet hall, holding my wine glass. Fan Yuan had drunk too much. He was standing on a table singing Boundless Oceans, Vast Skies, singing his heart out, completely out of tune. Zhou Yu, wearing headphones, was eating his fourth piece of cake with a blank expression. I sat back in my seat and put down the drink. The phone screen lit up. A message from Lin Nianchu. She had sent a photo of the night view of Shenzhen Bay Park, exactly the same as the lights I was seeing at that moment. Caption: I've arrived in Shenzhen. The night view here is really beautiful. I looked at that photo for 3 seconds. The skyline reflected on the sea, dotted with stars. I typed, welcome. After a moment's thought, he added, the morning tea in Shenzhen is quite good. You should try it when you have time. After sending the message, I turned my phone over and placed it face down on the table. Fan Yuan jumped off the table, staggered over, and put his arm around my neck. His breath reeking of alcohol. Shensi, bro, where do you think we'd be now if we hadn't met you back then? You'd probably be selling insurance. Bullshit. He punched my shoulder. At least I'm selling my house. I was knocked sideways by his punch and burst out laughing. Zhou Yu calmly added from across the table, I'm fixing the computer. Put the cake down. Fan Yuan yelled at him. I laughed. I laughed and laughed. My eyes felt a bit sore. On that New Year's Eve when I was 30 in my previous life, I drank a whole bottle of Nilanshan alone in a 12 square meter rented room. There are fireworks outside the window, but I can't see anything. The last memory is the touch of the floor cold, hard. Then there was nothing. This lifetime. I sat in the banquet hall of Shenzhen Bay No. 1. Beside me were Fan Yuan and Zhou Yu, team I built with my own hands. Everything I fought for. The night view outside the window was stunning, more beautiful than any night in my previous life. I raised my glass and clinked it with the glass Fan Yuan held out. Done. Cheers. The liquor goes down the throat. It burns, but my chest was warm. I didn't look at my phone again, nor did I think about why Lin Nianchu came to Shenzhen. Some answers I no longer needed. This life. I choose myself. Hey, can you rate this story in the comments? Use a scale of 1 to 10. Please. If you like this kind of content, hit that follow button.